You losers, guess what? Just last month, I just turned 18. I'm now a legal adult. This means I can be legally charged for murder. Motherfuckers better count your days, especially Twitter. Hey kids, do you like Power Rangers? Because I kind of do. It's a very iconic piece of the 90s, as well as using stock footage from Super Sentai, which is a show that has been running since the 70s. And hey, last time I tried to cover something Super Sentai-like, it got copyright striked, so yeah, I'm not showing footage, I'm not taking the risk. Now, for some reason, if you wonder what they did with their 20th anniversary, thank you for telling me. I would have never known all these people's names where I couldn't read. Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce released in 2013 and 2014 celebrate the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers. It's also not good, both as an anniversary and on its own. And we're gonna get to that right now, I guess. Start off with the first season, which is just Megaforce. I'm not gonna go into spoilers for Gokaiger because I've never seen Gokaiger. Anyways, let's start off with the characters. Troy, Emma and Gia, Jake, and Noah. With Jake being the soccer guy, Noah being the nerd, Gia being, I guess, a tomboy kind of character, and Emma, who just flakes the nature. And with that, I just named you all of their character traits, because they're really just nothing much. They're both Megaforce and Super Megaforce. They're just kind of the same thing throughout the entire series. It doesn't make them bad characters or anything, but they're just mid. That except for Troy, though.
Robo Knight! You have a mission to fulfill!
Troy is the leader of the team and is more of a heroic personality. Only problem, he's really fucking boring. It's mainly in the acting. He sounds so disinterested like all the time.
Then we have to be quicker. It sure is quiet around here. We're hidden behind some clouds, so this isn't going to be easy. Intimidate you! We better power up!
It's kind of all I have to say about the main 5 Rangers. They're just bland and forgettable. Same thing can't be said for Robo Knight. Robo Knight's kind of the 6th Ranger of the team. At first he doesn't really want to work with everybody, but eventually caves in to help with the team. Here's a little interesting tidbit. He was apparently hiding in the earth until something important happened coming up. Now technically this does take place after every other Power Ranger show. It makes me ask what took him so long. But also, he happened to lose his memory there. So now I ask, why didn't Gosei just make a card for him to remember it? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about Gosei.
Welcome, humans.
He just kind of exists. He just sits on that stupid fucking wall and does nothing but just give the Rangers powers. Not earn the powers, just give them. He also was built by Zordon, and this was mentioned once and never again. Also, he apparently wakes up after a great threat has been on Earth, which just like I mentioned, this takes place after every other Power Ranger show. Then whatever, let's mention Vrak. Vrak is a decent antagonist. I fuck with the different forms they have him in the show, especially this cool robot body thing. The same, however, cannot be said of his generals. They are just forgettable. I mean, they look cool, and that's really it. Now let's get to the other stuff before we get to Super Megaforce. The action is pretty great, but if you watch Gokaiger, it's basically the same thing. But still, what I don't like is the music and sound effects. And it's not the fact they predicted 2020, please laugh. No, it's not the fact they do hoodah, hoodah, yeah. Because it's Power Rangers, they usually do that shit a lot. It's cheesy, but you know what? The series has always been cheesy, and it's fine. No, it's mainly in the music and sound effects.
I've been itching to fight you! Mega Blast!
Royal Shield.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just me. Like, bro, the blaster sounds like it's from fucking Star Wars. Let's get on to Super Megaforce. I've been going on this for a while now. Look, as much as Megaforce had some flaws, at least it's not a Super Megaforce. Like, what happened here? Okay, but before I get to the second season, I have seen all of Gokaiger like 3 years ago, so spoilers, I guess. So you know that wall of keys of past Rangers? Guess what? They finally get to use them here. Even Sentai only teams. Why? It's never given an explanation. How did they get it? Because Gosei gave it to them. How did they unlock it? Fuck you, that's why. Let's just start with the new 6th Ranger. Oh, Robo Knight is gone. Oh, we have Aurelian. I might be saying that wrong, but fuck you, I don't care. He came to Earth after his planet was taken over by the Zanyak. I know they're called the Armada, but I like the Zanyak more. As for Aurelian, he's still fine. He doesn't really have any bad aspects of a character, he's just okay. Now let's move on to the Zanyak, the new villains here. Start with the Prince. Prince Rack unironically might be the best character on here. I mean, the dude is a little funny, I'm not gonna lie. He was probably the only character I found a little better than his Sentai counterpart. The same can't go for the rest of his catalog. This guy who I forgot his name just kind of exists. This green lady who I also forgot her name was. Although there was one episode where she tried to simp for Jake, you know, a high schooler. Also, in Gokaiger, she didn't simp for a minor. She simped for Red Racer from Car Ranger, who is a fully grown adult. Just saying. And then finally we're back to Argus, who was pretty majorly butchered here in the show. In Gokaiger, he was Joe, who is the Blue Ranger's best friend and possibly lover. However, he was taken by the Zoniac and turned into a robot, and it was handled really well in there. Joe had a little arc with him and it was satisfying. Here, Argus is just a fucking cyborg who has beef with Noah for some reason. Now let's get to the more well-known part, the anniversary elements. Now I'm wondering about those keys on the wall. Where do they come from? Never explained. Gokaiger, the reason why there was Ranger keys is because the last 34 Sentai lost their powers while fighting the Zoniac. Here it's, yeah. Also, they have like teams like Die Ranger, Flashman, and Maskman, you know, Sentai only teams that were never produced for Power Rangers. They're never explained where they came from. Makes you wonder if they were actually a plan to be explained later, but just never did. Yeah, I get it, the comics exist and they explain yada yada yada. Well, that's fine, the show should have still explained it. There is also a tribute episode. Unfortunately, it's only 4, that being Wild Force, Jungle Fury, Samurai, and RPM. Although the place looks like nothing from RPM. It's something from Go-Onger. I've never seen the show. Half of these don't even feature the Ranger from said show though. Compared to Gokaiger's tribute episode, at least one Ranger from each Sentai got to appear. But there's also something I haven't mentioned yet. The ending. You know, as much as I shit on the show, I think the finale just sucks in general. Oh yeah, there's a new guy in Vrack's place, he's just kind of there. After he defeats the Rangers, we get loads of cameos from all the Rangers from the franchise. How cool. I mean, it's kinda cool seeing these guys again, but I don't know, it doesn't really feel earned, especially compared to what happened in Gokaiger. Even the late Tommy makes the cameo. Yeah, I can go on and on explaining why Gokaiger's more superior, but that would be really fucking tiring. And then we get the Rangers in a fight. After being defeated, they will discuss what they're gonna do next. And then Oreo came back, yay. And Troy has an S-tier level speech of how to defeat the Zoniac.
What's the plan? We fight back.
What a beautiful S-tier speech you guys got right there. But then, oh no, the Zoniac is gonna kill everybody, oh no! Then our Rangers fight, even including stock footage from the first episode. I mean, come on, the difference of the footage is night and day. Don't you think anybody would at least notice? But then, oh no, guys, the Zoniac is shooting at our heroes. So Troy and Oreo shape over here decide to go on the fucking spaceship while the rest of the megaforce fight this guy on the ground. They eventually crash into his ship now. That's pretty cool. Then they eventually break in. Guys, this dude's so powerful that he can just defeat our heroes by just sitting down. That isn't a joke, by the way, and I won't lie, that is pretty cool to watch. But then Troy hits the destroy every ship button and destroys all the ships. You know, I would make a Gokaiger comparison here, but I won't lie, this is stupid in Gokaiger too. The Megaforce team defeat this jackass that you forgot exists, and our heroes defeat who gives a fuck. Now, would you believe this is where he dies? In Gokaiger, he actually has a ground fight, where our Rangers use every form they've got. They technically do this here in Megaforce too, but only in like a certain version. But in the more well-known version, he just dies on the ship, which actually kind of sucks. Then out of nowhere, a bunch of Zynex show up. But then... Hey. Oh, hell yeah, there's this epic battle that I somehow didn't mention throughout this entire video. Yeah, there was one major selling point this show had. That was the fact that all the Rangers would come together to show off for the epic final battle. Now, yes, this show was really overhyping this final battle, and while it was a little cool to see all these Rangers again, this show really still can't make up for it. And now it's time for the final battle, with this show having clearly visible teams. I get minor oversights happen, but come on, really, how is that not very noticeable? Also, Robonai appears here with no explanation. There's also clearly visible Sentai-only teams here, which... yeah. I know it's meant to be the big epic battle, where even though their stuff doesn't make sense, it just looks cool. It's still kinda cool. And they all just fucking fly up to the sky, which is, cool to see, I guess. This is how the show ends, by the way. You guys know that Megaforce is a video game?
What the Sigma? What the Sigma?
Bro. What the Sigma?
What the
For fun, I decided to cover their 3DS game because when am I ever gonna cover this thing? What do you guess? It's a shitty license game. I care so little about this I didn't even crop out the fucking borders up top and bottom. Yeah, I'm using an emulator, how can you tell? Okay, the story is Rack slashed their power cards. How the fuck did he do that?
It's far too complex for you to understand.
He said it! He said it!
That being said, I didn't get far enough into the game. I only got into 6 levels. Look, I know I'd rather actually finish the game, but do you think the world's gonna be in shambles for me not covering Power Rangers Megaforce on Nintendo 3DS? Okay, so what's the problem here? Well, if you couldn't tell, this game is a beat 'em up. And a beat 'em up trying to replicate games from the 90s and 80s. Just like 80s and 90s beat 'em ups, they're really fucking boring. The controls feel so awkward. They sometimes like get stuck in the animation. And beating up enemies also feels really awkward too. There are mech battles, but those feel even more awkward. When you get new power cards, it changes animations. You constantly get like the same 12 tasks. You can also change your party members. But to be honest, it really doesn't feel like anything is different there. It's not even the worst issue. The worst issue is this.
Good work! Where are we anyway?
You okay? Hang in there.
Let's take him out!
Where
are we? Don't let your guard down! Finish up and down the enemy with the tar!
The Rangers never shut up. They're always speaking, and it happens like every second. It's like every second they need to remind you about shit like you already would have known. Like, thanks game for telling me to destroy the crates for the 2000th time. There's really nothing much I can say about this game. It's just really boring and repetitive, and poorly polished. It feels like it was rushed. That was Power Rangers Megaforce. It truly was mega shit. Well, for Super Megaforce, that show felt like it had no idea how anniversaries work. While as for regular Megaforce, it was just really mediocre. But still, for our 20th anniversary, it really does feel disappointing. Even on my rewatch of the show, 10 years later. If there's a thing I hate around the show, and it's not really the show itself, it's kind of the discussion of it. As someone who's seen Gokaiger, that show is fucking peak, and I might make a review of it someday. Well, yes, it is fair to make comparisons between the two. There will be some people that just love to compare Gokaiger to Megaforce in every fucking appearance. Even shit that Super Megaforce quite literally cannot do. Superhero Taizan. And I will say how much the conversation between these shows became a dick riding contest for Gokaiger. Saying this, so if you want a better Toku anniversary, watch Gokaiger instead. Yeah. Either way, this show is still mediocre, but a massive disappointment. Anyways, I'm going to fucking bed. To see you guys when that fucking Skibbity toilet movie comes out.
My nugget. My chicken nugget. Look, my chicken nugget. Who's sipping warm? Who's him? Was it what? I saw you raising up baby Grom. Actually, I was raising Duke Dennis. Get out of my house! Oh, no. Who? Then attacked my skibbity slicer. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I did not take the skibbity slicer. I am Ginger. I have no soul.
You took my skibbity slicer. I'm going my vomit! Look what you did! Well, at least I didn't skip my mewing class. I mugged you! English or Spanish?
Classic Caillou, Lu, Bayu, Dayu, Bilu, and Fayu. How dare you become rip-offs of me, and how dare you all are not in my show. That's it. All of you are grounded.
That's Vaca! He's gay!